Hey there guys, it's ZeroMethanol from DoubleCrossedGaming, and I'm joined by JesterLogic, and we're going to be going over the patch notes for December the 6th. We weren't going to do these originally, but there's been quite a bit of interest for them, and quite a lot of players don't understand mainly the physics options, so we figured we'd go over them and explain them if we can.
Enlighten people. I'm going to apologise straight up, I have been awake for like 35 hours, which isn't actually that unusual for me, but it means my focus is a little bit shaky, so bear with me.
GG. Sure, do you want to do major highlights?
Sure, so we'll run over them quickly and then we can go into in-depth in anything we feel we need to expand on. So we'll start right at the top. Owners of custom servers can now ban individual weapons or perks on their server under gameplay settings. Use the ban equipment menu tool, which is quite nice. I know there's especially for competitive servers, being able to ban the weapons that aren't allowed in competitive is always nice. We've got improved memory usage and management, apparently. Some users with 32-bit operating systems were crashing after running out of memory, which should now be resolved. I actually had a little bit of that, even though I'm not running on a 32-bit system, which is weird. I'm running on a pretty hefty system, and every now and then it will crash out saying ran out of memory.
Yeah, I just want to point out actually quickly guys, I am running on the temporary in-development physics settings for competitive. So this probably won't affect you if you play pubs, but basically there's a guy called Yuzzo in the European competitive scene at the moment, and he's trying to change the physics so that it'd be good for comp play. It's kind of hard to notice, but like I can jump quite nicely, and there's some slight changes there.
You'll notice it if you play on it. It's a very distinct feel. It's a lot quicker. For example, when we were playing around with it, when I was talking to the Americans, I was hitting my kind of kata routes, 450, 500. Which sounds a bit silly, but when everything else is also accelerated, it's not too bad. I'm not sure if that's all we're going to stick with. Obviously, it's like Zero saying, it's all still in the works, and we probably won't have a definitive set for another month or so.
As I just proved by slamming into a tree, there's very little air control.
Okay, let's carry on then. It added a safe mode option, which runs the game with default settings and the lowest text quality. To access safe mode, open the TribeSend launcher, click the settings icon, and enable run game in safe mode. Not really too much to say about that, but it's a nice feature to have. Then we've got added a system to adjust core player physics values on custom servers and in local roaming maps. This system is designed to give control to advanced players who want to tweak player movement variables. We will work with the community to organize a series of presets that can be applied to custom servers and focused playtests experimenting with physics changes. For more information and instructions on how to change settings, visit the TribeSend dev blog, and we'll leave a link to that below.
Yeah, basically with that, players can make their own physics settings, and then the most popular ones will become part of the game. So it's not like you can't just choose any settings you want and put them on your server and people are forced to play it. It's sadly not. You can change them in single player, and then if they become popular, if you speak to high-res APC or presumably high-res Bart, I swear that guy was walking backwards then, you can have them set in the game for real.
Yeah, I'll do a little tiny bit of a side tangent here. They are saying they're going to be working with the community. There's 3 websites which are being used to kind of come up with this definitive competitive set that we're going to be using, and the alternative set, as it were, which is Bitter, which is the home of the Australian community, bitter.com. You've got natribes.com, and the website we've been running for the last couple of months now. That's gone by very quickly. Called wilderzone.org. If any of you have been wondering what the hell we've been doing, we haven't just vanished, we have still been doing tribe stuff. Feel free to jump over there. I'll put an annotation on the screen right about now. And yeah, you can have a look at that. Feel free to jump in and get involved. And they're going to basically come up with a definitive set from those 3 communities as to what they want and put it into the competitive game.
Yep, pretty much. And like I said, this is Yuzzo's current physics settings, so I apologise if I crash a lot. It's basically what it's kind of going with. He's going with high ski control, so that if you're on the ground, you can, what they call carve, you can turn quite easily on the ground. But if I jet in the air now and I spam A and D, I don't move. But if I use my jets to move in the air, I got a little bit more control than I would do normally.
Yep.
I think that's the general theory behind it.
Yeah, like we said, it is all still being tweaked, and as Yuzzo I think said yesterday when we were also having a meeting after some games, the chances are we're not going to have a definitive set for well over another month yet, because we don't want to kind of have one and then make everyone play it. We want to have it like spot on so it doesn't buff anyone too much and doesn't nerf anything too much. Which at the minute, despite it being quite nice, it is buffing some stuff a lot more than others, so it needs a little bit of tweaking like that. Go on then, hit us with a list of weapon balance items.
Alright guys, there's been a lot of balance issues, and frankly in my opinion there isn't a single balance issue here that's bad, but you know, people are going to disagree. So first of all there's a fix. They fixed an issue where the Brute's light sticky grenade would not explode if the grenade was primed when the owning player died, which is nice. I mean, I think quite a few people, well, anyone that plays Brute I guess has noticed that. Not many people play Brute.
I never noticed it myself.
No, and the next thing is they increased the Sentinel's drop jammer radius by 50%, and I'm guessing on pubs a lot of you are probably thinking, you know, why did they do this? And basically in competitive, infiltrators were incredibly overpowered. Like, you could sneak up to someone and you could just sonic punch the flag from their hands instantly, and there was pretty much nothing anyone could do about it. Even with drop jammers and jammer packs, you could just ski in and do it before they could move. Yeah. So that's why they've done that. And in a kind of weird way, it might balance scopes a bit more, because maybe scopes will have to use the jammer pack instead of the energy pack, and if they do that, that will nerf the DPS with the energy weapon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still waiting to see how the drop-off on the phase rifle changes what weapons snipers might want to use, because obviously the reason they switched away in competitive from the BXT originally was because the drop-off took such a huge hit and the damage just wasn't up to par with the phase rifle. But now that's been nerfed, I'm not sure, or I wouldn't be surprised to see the BXT come back a little bit more. I could be wrong, I might be totally off base because I don't play sniper, but it's something to look at. And especially with the extra drop.
Yeah, definitely. And again, the next one is reduce Raider's whiteout grenade by 10%. And this is a weird one because, like, that the radius on the whiteout grenade is not what makes it broken. What makes it broken is the fact that it whiteouts. You can't fix the whiteout grenade without completely changing it how it works. Please
just change it back to being directional flashes. I'd be totally fine with this because I don't know. I like the grenades. There's a bit of a debate going on about it. Some people really hate the idea of losing one of the 2 cents you have in the game. I didn't have a problem with it before. I didn't think anyone was really using it that much, apart from Scrambler Cappers way back, like well over a year ago now. But it doesn't really matter anymore because we banned them anyway in competitive, so...
Yeah, someone came up with quite a good idea actually, where it would basically jam. So when you did it, if you hit someone with a whiteout grenade, they would basically see everyone as jammed.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Messes up and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's really clever, because then it's not exactly overpowered in the sense that, you know, they can't see anything, but for an uneducated player, he won't be able to tell who's ally and who's enemy, and, you know, or even in confusing situations.
I'm not sure it's just inexperienced players. I mean, if you flashed if you managed to get a standee and a roaming D, and you've got a couple of offense on the stand, it's going to get really confusing for them. I mean, it's not going to get debilitatingly confusing, if that makes sense, but it will make it a bit harder. Then again, I'm still not sure anyone would ever run it over an EMP, just flat out.
Yeah, true that. They've also done many nerfs to quick fuses, technician quick fuses and soldier quick fuses, and that's good. But I mean, I'm not sure if they're going to be unbanned just because of that.
I don't think. I mean, I think the main issue of it, they could actually be unbanned once we have the new physics in, but at the minute I still think they're too hard to dodge, and that was the main issue, is the fact they're really easy to use, and they still do a lot of damage, and are very easy to hit with.
1 second, I'm just going to try and do a route. Wait. Yeah, almost. Okay, and... where is it? They reduced Infiltrator sticky XL damage by 20% and radius by 14%. And I got some mixed opinions about this, because I think they've actually nerfed the damage to base assets on them. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's
true.
But they shouldn't do that, because, like, can I check this? Hold on.
I think the problem here is that they seem to have done a lot of nerfs to the Infiltrator, or even if it's not directly to him, by buffing the Scramble Pack and the Drop Jam, for example.
They do 2,000 damage. How much do they used to do?
Generally don't remember.
Oh, right. Well, anyway, basically they've nerfed the radius and the damage on them because, again, like, Infiltrators being overpowered, they used to be able to, like, fly to the enemy stand and just spam the F key, and kill anything and everything that was on that stand. So that's the main reason behind that.
Well, that's true. I
nerf.
do think they have to be very careful not to overly nerf the class. Because, as far as I'm concerned, the infiltrators I fear the most are not the ones that run Sonic Punch and that spam sticky grenades. It's the combat infiltrators that'll just mess you up hardcore with spin fuser and knives and stuff like that. That's the one. I mean, if I get killed by a sticky grenade, which happens very rarely, even if I'm on stand, like the chance of... To be fair, when I'm on stand, personally, I don't have much of an issue with grenades or mortars, like, full stop. I'm not sure if everyone else does. I mean, I've never really kind of had that much of an issue with it. But infiltrators who are smart, like combat infiltrators, they're the ones that tend to be a bit more of an issue for me.
Well, there needs to be a nerf to the SN7 and the knives, really. Those things are ridiculous.
Yeah, they definitely fixed that bug with the knives as well. I don't know if they have in this patch. For anyone who doesn't know,
oh god, the one where you don't have any footsteps.
Doesn't know, on Katabatic, if you have knives out, you don't have footsteps. Like, you need no snow prints and they have no footstep sound. I
do not know where I'm going with this route.
Ruined pubs for anyone who watches our videos, but...
yeah.
Oh, I knew it.
Yeah, so, yeah, guys, if you use knives, you don't have any footsteps.
GG.
Have fun. Hopefully that's, hopefully Hi-Res will fix that now. Okay, next thing is they did some nerfs to, Fractal Grenades, and they nerfed the duration by 1 second, I think, on both. And they reduced, most importantly, they reduced the knockback on it. So they're no longer like wormholes where if you get hit by one, you get sucked in.
I have a slight issue with this, because the way I look at a Fractal Grenade is it's an idiot trap. Like, if you get killed by a Fractal, if I ever died for it, I never think, damn, that was a good Fractal. I think, oh, I'm really stupid, I walked into the massive flashing disco ball in the middle of a room somewhere. So
yeah, but they can also be used to stand clear and stuff. I mean,
true, but it's very rarely I'll see that done effectively. Because if they're throwing fractals, the on-stand's just going to fly away unless he's got the slowest reactions in the world. He'll hover above stand, and chances are you're probably going to hit your capper if you throw a couple of them on the stand. And if you want them to run out just before the cap comes in, the on-stand will just hop back down. I've seen it done once or twice, but not often enough to warrant a nerf, I don't think.
Alright, and next, they changed the time between shots in the Impetus Jackal from 0.25 seconds to 0.35. Again, it's a nerf, it's good, but again, it doesn't change much.
I'm not sure the Jackal needs nerfing anymore, and that's a very, very controversial opinion within the competitive community. I'm getting a lot heavy.
Well, yeah, we were talking about it the other day, like, people were testing it, and people were saying, like, it's... like, the mechanic is still overpowered behind it, but the damage is so fucking shit.
The way I'm looking at it is I compare it to the Spin Fuser, and the damage is not significantly more than Spin Fuser. In fact, it's less than Spin Fuser now, isn't it? I might be wrong. It's not. It's either. It's not that great.
Bad.
The advantage it gives you is you can lay stickies on the floor. That's the main sort of plus of it. The actual damage itself, you can hit someone with a Spin Fuser and do just as much, and it's easier to use. It's easier to use a Spin Fuser than it is a Jackal. Because you're firing one shot, not three. Not particularly hard to use either, but you know what I mean. As far as I'm concerned, it shouldn't be banned anymore.
Yeah.
But that's just me. And I think...
We might see it unbanned.
I think the competitive community has a horrible issue of not unbanning weapons because they used to be overpowered. And we'll get to the plasma gun in a minute.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm just about to get to the plasma gun. They've reduced the hitbox on it and the clip.
Yeah, they've done that. They've done that to both the.
I do have the patch notes open, but
gun and the raised plasma gun. The brute one didn't really need enough, I don't think.
Yeah. We might see the Raider plasma unnerfed,
I think we
maybe.
Should see that banned. Well, actually, no. I think we should test it. I think we should come in with an open mind to it, because before it was ridiculous, and no one's going to deny that. That gun was stupidly strong. Like, the hitboxing, you could literally fire 2 or 3 meters to the left of someone and still hit the midair on them. But now, it's still got a pretty big hitbox, and it's not, like, super hard to hit with, but it's nowhere near as easy as it was. And honestly, if I was disrupting, I'd probably still run with a grenade launcher over the plasma. Personally.
Yeah, I agree. I think most people are thinking about, well, can we use it on D, really? Like, can you use it on defense? And the Raider limit's about to be removed, which means people can run as many Raiders as they want. It's a tough one. Like I actually think they're pretty balanced.
I think
now,
so,
Raider and
stronger.
Soldier. I mean,
especially after this patch with the nerf to the NJ5, and the fact we still have the things we've got a lot more bans for the Raider. We had before, for anyone who doesn't know, we had the not Sticky XL, sorry, the EMP XL banned, Plasma Cannon banned, and there was a raid limit of 2, which means that it's just harder in general to compare it now to the Soldier, which has better grenades, a better primary weapon, or better explosive weapon, sorry, debatably, for dueling anyway, and higher ability because they can jump, do thumper jumps or spin fuse jumps, depending on what secondary you want to use.
It's true, you can't do a
like
plasma
10
jump.
speed off it, but for what, like 300 damage, consider that, it's not worth it.
Alright, 1 second. They actually nerfed the NJ5 damage as well, so that's another nerf to Raider.
I mean, I'm pretty sure now it's no longer the strongest automatic in the game. I think the Technician SMG is, if I remember correctly, for pure damage per second.
Possibly, it makes sense. And the NG5 is almost on par / maybe better than the Desert
I
NG4.
quite like the Desert NG4 personally. I'm surprised we haven't seen anyone try with it. Oh, excuse me. I like toying about with it anymore, but hey, I think everyone's used to the NJ5 by now.
Alright, I'll just quickly go through the rest. I mean, they reduced Doombringer mine detonation by 10%, which is great because mines are so annoying at the moment.
No disagreement.
So I'm happy to see that nerfed. Frank, someone, I think it might be Nephilian, said that they should make it so that Doombringer mines detonate when the Doombringer dies.
I'm not sure.
I personally am all for that, but I mean, we'll see.
I'd be up for trying it.
The main issue at the moment, guys, is that Doombringers put down, like, was it 4 mines, was it 5, I can't remember, and the offense takes like 10 seconds just to blow up all the bloody mines. It takes so long to see them down, and then if the Doombringer's still alive,
from what I'm playing a lot of American publishers, the Americans seem to have less of an issue with this, but I think it's because they've been running Doombringer a hell of a lot longer and their offense might have adjusted to it. They've been running Doombringer since the game came out. We still don't always run it. We still run Soldier a lot of the time. Not as much as Doombringer now, but we used to run pretty much exclusively Soldier. So people are still not quite sure what the fuck's going on against Doombringers. Probably shouldn't have swore there, but I'll roll with it, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes anyway. Where else are we? Yeah, they reduced Soldier's AP nade damage by roughly 8%. That brings it from 1,300 damage down to 1,200.
It really doesn't actually
and
make a
they nerfed
difference
the
in any
radius.
sort of situation. Because you're still going
No, I don't think it makes a difference.
Class you would have before, and if not, they're going to be so low they can't do anything to stop you.
Yeah, it's not much of a bad thing. Hopefully it's going to stop
I think
whining about them so
APs
much.
are extremely strong at the minute. But I know they're going to add high visibility lights to them in the next few patches. I remember APC talking about it. So they're going to be more visible.
Oh, that's true. I wasn't going to go over that, but yeah, they're adding halos to them. Someone mentioned something like the halo changes color the further it, like the closer it is to exploding or something. So when you throw them, they're green, and then as about to detonate, they go
fuck, you're dead, you're dead. Something like that.
If you see a red AP nade, then yeah, you can cry a little bit. Where was I? Yeah, they reduced the range of Sonic Punch perk by 36%, which, to put it in contrast, that means it's, correct me if I'm wrong, it's like 20% less than it was when it first came out. So that's good. Ideally, everyone says this, ideally it should be melee only.
I'm not quite sure about that, because
I'll take what I can get right now.
Usually if you hit with the melee you're going to get retrieve anyway, so I think it would make the perk entirely useless. If you hit someone with a melee and you're running reach and you kill them, you're getting that retrieve. In fact, even if you hit someone, if you're running close combat for example, I'm pretty sure if they're coming towards you and you melee them, which is what happens 90% of the time as an infiltrator, you're still going to get the retrieve without Sonic Punch. I do think it should have some sort of extra range on it. I don't think it should be a long range though. Because I mean that's what Takedown was, wasn't it? Ages ago, Smackdown, sorry, yeah, ages ago.
Smackdown.
And no one ran it. Americans toyed with it, but they just didn't see it worth it. And then Infiltrator was never used.
Yeah, we should see the return of Iron Grip.
Yeah,
that's a perk
it's not
that
like
could be
we want to
really
buff
useful
Chase or
right now.
anything. Not like we need to nerf chasing right now.
Yeah, true that. Iron Grip was a perk back in the early days of Tribes Ascend where if you were running that, you couldn't lose the flag. You couldn't be Nitron. And then they renamed it Reach and made it give you extra
renamed it and totally changed it, yeah. Which, to be fair, stirred up quite a lot of drama at the time, and then everyone realised, wait, this is actually a bad thing. I remember the Australians banned Reach for a while, actually. It seems very strange to me. Yeah, then we realised it was a very silly idea.
Yep, next thing, they, where am I? They increased fall-off damage on the sap and the phase. And
incorrect, sir.
I did the jammer pack. Oh, right, yeah. Okay, yeah, sorry. Increase radius of the jammer pack by 42. That's the Raider jammer pack, not the Sentinel one. Again, same reason as the Sentinel jammer pack.
I'm not sure that's the entire reason, but that's definitely what it's going to be used for now. And it means you can actually, you can actually run on offense.
Could be good on offense as well.
I'm not sure if we'll actually see that happen because the shield pack's still quite strong, but you never know. With the Raider limit being dropped, we might see one guy run it.
Yes, back to the fall-off. They've increased fall-off on the SAP 20 and Phase Rifle to be more similar to the BXT. This is a good change. It's a nerf, it's necessary, and I've seen a lot of snipers like crying about this, but it's roughly 300 damage now at maximum range.
Have no right to complain about anything, considering how strong they are. At all. I do not care. You've got arguably one of the easiest chains to use in the game, and crazy high damage output. If a sniper sees you coming in, you're dead, flat out. Like as an offense player, have fun trying. If you're coming to the midfield and counterbatting and the sniper sees you coming, there's no point in you really actually going for this if they're any good. They're going to kill you. Sorry, I hate snipers.
It's okay. I'm messing up these routes like massively. Well, it's surprisingly difficult running routes and reading from a screen, especially when the screen's not the same screen you're running routes on. I'm not a Kappa man. Alright, decrease damage on Pathfinder's hold-up shotgun by 5%. Wow, good, you know, good going, guys. You managed to complain hard enough that they did something about it. Yeah,
in my opinion. I think people whine about the weapon way too much. I don't think you needed it. As far as I'm concerned, if a Pathfinder gets close to you, like that close to do maximum damage to the hold-up shotgun, it's your fault. 90% of the time. Sometimes not so much. Sometimes they manage to play really well, or not even that, because that's what a Pathfinder should be doing. Positional play. They should be trying to either sneak up on you, or kind of hide until you're close enough for them to thrust and shoot you. And I don't see why that's an unbalanced tactic. You should know where their defense is, because I'm assuming they're going to be on D if they run the hold-out shotgun. And there's a reason not many people run it on D. Most people run the LAR because it's more versatile. And
the fact is the LAR is a better weapon than the hold-out shotgun. So why people are complaining about the hold-out shotgun and not the LAR? But I mean, I can see why. If you get in close combat, that thing destroys. But then if you let a Pathfinder, you know, a 900 HP class get that close to you, you deserve to die. But yeah,
that's true.
That sounded way harsher than it meant to be. But
it's
yeah,
only one of two things: either you've messed up and let him get way too close, or he's played very well and managed to get close enough to you without you realizing. No.
Can I just take some time to say something? Hi Rez, these out-of-bound grid wolves, right? You dead stop on these out-of-bound grids all the time. Please fix them. Why are they so sticky? Like, I was running this route yesterday, and every other route I would dead stop on the bloody out-of-bounds grid. So stressful.
Like, intentionally just coming a tiny bit further in to avoid it, and I don't think you should have to do that. It's a bit silly.
Like, you know, you'd imagine that you'd be able to slide up against them at least, but you can't. If you touch them, like certain out-of-bound grids, like this one on Katabatic, if you touch it, you just dead stop, or you get slammed towards the ground, one of the two. Either way, it's game over for that route. But yeah, hold-on shotgun didn't really need it. But someone was saying like, oh, reduce the damage on it by 20%, and then I don't think they realised that the regular shotgun would then be the stronger one.
I think a majority of the complaints come from really annoying on-off user types that play UDM too much. And that's going to annoy some people. I said that. I don't care. I'm pushing back.
I wasn't going to say it. I've got nothing against the people who like spin fuses only. I just don't like it when they complain about people using automatics when... No, let me finish. When there are explosive-only custom servers out there. If you want to play explosive-only, join an explosive-only custom server.
Explosives are easier to use in this game than chain. Especially the way 90% of people who complain about autos use the explosives. Like, I see people...
I'm going to step in now and say I don't want this to be an argument about autos versus explosives, because if it was, I could have a million things to rant about, but I don't want to do it.
Because the way a lot of people play with spin fuses, for example, in TDM, or in Arena to to the same degree, is they'll ground shot. They'll go from midair, they'll miss, and they'll ground shot you. A chain, if I get, like, killed by a dude with a spin fuser, and I get ground shot, 90% of the times because I've messed up, not because they're doing well. As harsh as that sounds, it's true. If I get chained, though, if I get hit by like a really nice chain, I'm much more impressed. Because chaining is harder to do in this game. Sorry, carry on.
It's okay.
I know you agree with me.
I'm not going to give my opinion on that.
Throw some balls.
I do agree.
Nice position on the fence you're taking right there.
Alright. back on topic. They increased the fall off on the holdout shotgun by 10%. If anything, that's the only nerf I can see that was like okay, because you know people were complaining. Okay, actually, this is another thing. People were complaining that the range on the holdout shotgun was too long. I have a video on this channel which is unlisted to checking the range of all the shotguns, and I'll have you know they are all identical. Just gonna throw that out there, right? So all of you people bitching about the holdout being too far range, it's exactly the fucking same as the rest. Okay? Yeah, it is! It is! It's exactly the same! If anything, right, the accuracy on the hammer was way overpowered compared to the rest.
See, this kind of proves the whole thing about the Pathfinder, because the hammer itself is not considered OP. I don't consider it OP, because if a brute gets close enough for me to use a shotgun, I've gone very wrong. I've made some really bad life decisions if I've run at a brute and he's got a shotgun. Exactly.
Well, that's why people run away from brute. If you see a brute, you run away and you shoot them. You don't go next to them if they got a fucking hammer and a devastating spin fuser. It's suicide.
It's semi-automatic for one. It fires fast. Well, yeah, it's fully automatic. It's slow firing.
Fully automatic.
And it does a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And
pro tip, guys, if you hold down the trigger with the hammer, you actually fire quicker than if you click as fast as you can click. Just thought I'd tell you that. Yeah. Okay, yeah, and speaking of which, they increased fall off on the hammer by 10%. So, again...
And then we've got some really lame additional items, which is fixed a bug where players could launch themselves off a vehicle by a collision exploit.
Which isn't fixed.
And added the ability to kill server regardless of
we did it the other day.
Which I don't understand why that wasn't there in the original thing, but it might well have been. Meh, I don't know.
Yeah, so I mean, I apologise on two things. One, for going like massively off topic, and also because I know my mic quality is a bit weird at the moment. I spent a good half an hour before this trying to fix it, and I don't know what's wrong with it. I come through perfectly fine in mumble, and then if I try and record it, I get wobble in the background. So if anyone knows anything about that, please tell me. Wobble. And and also actually these roots are like terrible. I'm just trying to do something in the video. There it goes. It's true. Alright guys, yeah, I mean, leave us your opinion on the patch notes and see what you think, and...
I suppose you replied to that as well.
Just leave us your opinion.
That's lame.
Even if you think automatics are easy to use, leave us your opinion.
See you later.
Alright guys, see you soon.